9:30, so we'll call this meeting to order. Okay, Ms. Johnson, I guess we'll let you go first.
All right, thank you so much. Just want to say congratulations to all the players in our soccer tournament that got finished. Couldn't have asked for better weather for our soccer tournament. Congratulations to the Birchfield Rams girls. They had an undefeated season and they ended up being the champs. Also to the Huntsville Middle School boys. They were the boys champs for soccer. So thank you for that. Thank you for the principals, everybody that came out and helped with all of that and got that over with quicker than we normally do. However, we were talking earlier, tomorrow is the 1st of May, which is kind of hard to wrap your mind around. Also want to say congratulations to the Birchfield Advanced Band who went to the TSSBDA Concert Festival. It's kind of like their TCAP for our band students this past Saturday. The band received a superior rating of a 1 from all 3 judges, which is a superior for overall. And that's the highest rating that they can receive. The band also received a perfect score from one of the judges. So I'm very proud of Mr. Hunt and all he's done for that band program. And on that note, our end of the year band concert is Friday, May the 10th at 7 p.m. This is our 10th anniversary for our band program already. So Mr. Hunt is asking all band members, past and present, to come and be a part of that program on May the 10th. So if you are a previous band student, if you'll contact Mr. Hunt or contact us at school, we'll give you some more information on that. Next Thursday, May the 9th, is our sports physicals. Those are free. We will be traveling to Boys and Girls Club. Those forms have been sent home, so parents, if you see those forms, please make sure that you fill those out. Those are due back into school as soon as possible so we can get all that documentation taken care of. So I don't have anything else unless you all have any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Hamilton.
Start off again with our playground update, and just in raising funds, we've raised $106,396, and then we have what the board has contributed to and brick pavers. So it is looking awesome. We are so thankful and blessed. We have started the bid process, and we had a meeting today with Miss Linda. I wasn't able to be there, but I heard that went well, and so very excited. And thank you, Ms. Sharp, for all your support and everything you've done. We really appreciate you. The rest of you, we appreciate you all supporting us too. We thank you very much, but Ms. Sharp has really led the way on that, and thank you. Have several other thank yous that I need to give out. Mr. Blakely, thank you with the maintenance department for coming over and getting all that painting and stuff done. We appreciate that. If you'll come over and look, we have our new STEM project that we were doing with Title I. That's underway. Our 4th graders and some 3rd graders and things are out. They're putting landscaping and things in over there, and they're having to measure out and use area perimeter and everything, and it's really a great project with them, and they are loving it. And they are so enjoying being outside and doing all that. So you'll have to come by and see what they're doing. It's a great project for them. Thank you. That opportunity is awesome. Also, I'd like to say thank you to Britt Shoemaker and the School Health Coordinator grant for giving us the grant funding for a basketball goal to go on our playground now to replace the one that we had lost in a storm. It blew it down, and we actually used the grant money this year to replace that goal. So we'll have that in pretty soon. And they also had awarded all the teachers who participated in the wall display for the tobacco free. They all got awarded some type of monetary award, so we're thankful to them for sharing that with us. We also have finished all our TCAP testing, getting ready to ship those back to Miss Keaton, and can't wait to get those out of our door and have those over, and then be ready to have those test results back. On our May calendar of events, you know it's busy. It's everything in the world's going on. We have several field trips planned, which I'm not going to list all those. Last family reading night's May the 7th at 4 to 6 p.m. We have awards ceremony on Monday the 20th at 1 p.m. We're not sure right now if we'll get to use the middle school gym because they have their graduation ceremony that morning. So we're trying to fit it in with all the other activities, and I'm not sure if we're going to get to go there or have to be in the playroom or where. We're trying to work that out. Our graduations pre-K is Tuesday the 21st at 9. And in the HMS gym, and kindergarten is Tuesday, May 21st at noon in the HMS gym. So we really appreciate Ms. Goodman for sharing that space with us. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Jeffers.
Thank you. I just have a list of events that Mr. Shannon sent me with. Tomorrow is Kona Ice Day. That's always a big deal at Robbins Elementary School. We appreciate them coming. May the 2nd, we will have our athletic banquet. It begins at 6 o'clock. You all are invited to attend. If it doesn't rain us out, we're going to be grilling hamburgers and hot dogs for the kids. On May the 3rd, the 8th graders will tour the TCAT and Rome State campus. On May the 6th, our 8th grade Beta Club trip and their sponsors are headed to Nashville for their yearly Beta Club trip. So hold them up in your prayers for a safe trip, and we hope they enjoy that. On May the 9th, we will have our athlete physicals for the Boys and Girls Club. And then on the 10th, we have our field day. We also finish out testing, and I've bragged on our faculty and staff this morning. We had wonderful attendance. There was a couple of days we had perfect attendance. So they are boxed up and ready to go. I'm just waiting on the okay from Ms. Kingdom because I feel like they've taken over my office for the last month. But we're really excited that it went seamless this year. So we were grateful that it was on paper and all.
Thank you. Mr. Cash.
Yes, couple things. I put a couple, a calendar and then a flyer up on your desk. Just a couple things. Ms. Jeffers just said testing was completed, and I really want to brag. I can't brag on the students enough about how hard they work. They really worked hard, and our attendance was really good. So makeups was really easy to get completed. So, like everybody else, we're just waiting for the green light from Ms. Keaton to open up the door. And in all seriousness, the kids did a great job, and I'm really proud of them, and I'm looking forward to the results. Couple of dates. This Thursday will be our 8th grade prom at Amelia's. This Friday, a group of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students will be going to space camp. Some teachers are taking them, so keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I know they're looking forward to that trip. Excited. Next Tuesday, 7th, our sports physicals at the Boys and Girls Club. And then next Thursday, I want to mention our spring play, which is the flyer that I've handed out. It's this year. We're doing another, because it was so well received at Christmas. We're doing another Andy Griffith play, Sheriff Barney. So we'd like for everybody to come out. Next Thursday at 7 in the gym at Fairview. Admission's $3, but I've seen very little of it. Miss Laura Beth kind of told me some of the script that she's written a lot of it, and it's really good. It's gonna be really cute. Kids have done an amazing job as always. So just like for everybody to come out if they can, and that's all I have. Unless you guys have anything for me.
Thank you. Ms. Rector.
Thank you. We are finishing up a the busiest time of the year. This is the busiest week of the whole school year, I think, as we are kind of two different sets of agendas kind of collide. We're finishing up EOC testing. We do still have one full day of testing left tomorrow. That should be the last full day of testing, and then that will give us Thursday and Friday to finish up any makeup exams. I have to give credit where credit is due. Mr. Eric Henry and Miss Anna Hull, they do a great job of keeping up with that schedule. It gets quite complicated when that test is online, and those test sessions, they have to be taken consecutively. So if a kid misses session 2, they can't come back and take session 3 the next day. They have to make up session 2 first, so they can get pretty behind pretty quickly. And those guys do a great job of keeping up with those makeup exams so the kids don't get behind. So we're hoping that we have very few makeups to do on Thursday, and then we're ready to complete that process and submit those for scoring on Friday. As far as the online testing goes, I've told you all before, I'm always really nervous in the spring because that's where the problems tend to rear their heads. We had a few glitches, had a few days that there were some glitches there with the system kind of getting, I don't know if bogged down would be the right word, but kind of freezing up. We would have to move those kids from computer to computer. Had a couple of sessions there, but nothing that we weren't able to work through pretty easily. Had a couple minor issues on the math test, again with some little things there, but nothing we weren't able to work through. So all in all, the online testing went fairly seamless this year. We were able to complete all test sessions as scheduled, so very thankful and very excited about that. And just again, as everybody else, I want to give a shout out to my faculty, staff, and especially our students, just for tolerating the long process that is our state testing now. We've had good attendance. We have to work through that, again, because we do test for 13 days straight all day, so that's pretty challenging. For anybody, our faculty and staff, it takes every single person in that building to do that testing, because every session has to have a test administrator and a proctor in it. So as you can imagine, that gets to be pretty hectic throughout the day, pulling people. But we're there. We've managed to get it done. So I just want to thank everybody for being there and just pitching in and getting that done. But as far as the computer testing, it went pretty well. So we're thankful for that. We had prom on Saturday. It went well. Kids seemed to have a good time. We had a good time. We want to thank the family there at Chitwood Mountain Farms for hosting us again. They're wonderful to us. This is the second year we've been up there. They've been wonderful to us and given us great use of that facility, and just very, very appreciative of that. They're always very gracious and have both years have bragged on our students and about them being there. So we're very thankful to have them and have their support. Senior banquet is this Thursday at 6 p.m. You all will have a table that's reserved up front. We do hope that you're with us that night. We'll serve you a nice meal, and you'll get to see lots of awards given away to seniors. So we hope that you're there that night. One thing that I do want to tell you, just go ahead and give you a heads up on about senior banquet. This will be the last year that we will award the Janus Scholarship. As you all remember, that Janus Scholarship came from the donations that were made, I guess, in 2008. After we had the terrible car crash with the 4 cheerleaders that passed. That fund has been in place for this will be the 11th year, counting that very first year, and this is the end. So I counted up today, there will be a total of 16 total recipients of that award that have been able to use that as part of their scholarship money for college. And if my memory serves me correctly, when I looked at that list of 16 today, all of those 16 recipients have completed college or are still currently enrolled. So that is a wonderful testimony for that. And remember, that was completely from donations that were taken from across the nation back then. So we're thankful. We're sad to see that come to an end at this point, but it has been a wonderful testimony. So I wanted to go ahead and let you all know that. Baccalaureate is this Sunday, May the 5th at 7 p.m. at Scott High. Brother Randy Burge is going to give the message that night, so the kids are very excited to hear him. He's been a wonderful part, I know, of a lot of different schools, coming in and giving messages to lots of kids, so we're excited to have him. Athletic banquet will be on Monday, May the 6th. We are going to do that a little bit differently this year and use kind of a different format. It will be at school on that day starting around noon. Parents are still welcome to come, but we're just doing that a little bit differently, partly because of scheduling, but partly just kind of at the, I guess, urging of the students to just do something a little bit different. So we're going to try to do that. Again, that will be next Monday, May the 6th. And then graduation is Saturday, May the 11th. Make sure that your calendars are marked for that. It does start at 10 a.m. We would like for you all to be there by 9:30. We will have refreshments for you there in the office, and we'll make sure that we get your flowers pinned on and all of those things. You will have reserved parking around back. Remember that as well. And if you're not going to be able to be there, if you'll let us know, we would appreciate that, so we can make sure that the stage is adjusted properly. And that's all that I have. There's much, much more, but that's the highlights.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Linda.
Well, as several of the principals have said, testing's been the big thing for the last couple of weeks. We are getting finished, and I know everybody wants me to have all their 125 boxes of tests, which I'm not looking real forward to, but they will have to go out this week. So we are starting to pull those back in and make sure we get those to the state. We've already sent the writing part 1 that had to go out, I think the 22nd, because the writing part 1 has to be done that first week. So we've already sent those out, but we still have lots more boxes to go. So it did go well. I think several of us had a little trouble with the linking process, which was very much more difficult than I remember it being in the past. But anyway, we did get through with that. The deadline for that was yesterday. So just a couple of other things. All of us are pretty much doing lots of observations, trying to get all those finished. I have been looking forward to hearing from my pre-K grant, which we should have heard from the 15th, April 15th, and we have not yet heard about that yet, which I think it has us all a little bit concerned. But, hopefully we'll hear soon. Hopefully we will be awarded with the grant this year. Then tomorrow is the deadline for pre-K and kindergarten portfolios, which that has been a year-long process for those teachers. It's been very difficult. I think most of us would like to see that go away. It probably won't, but those teachers, it seemed like they spend the whole year with that in the back of their mind rather than being able to get in there and teach and do what they need to do. And it is a process by which they get a score based on the growth of their students. But the way it's done has been difficult. But that deadline is tomorrow. I think all of our teachers are finished except maybe just a couple. Hopefully they'll finish up by the end of the day tomorrow. And then other things that's coming down, we have been thinking about summer training. I know we offer several days here for teachers to get that alternative in-service. We will be doing 4 days of in-service at the beginning of the year, and that will leave 1 alternative day that teachers will need to get in the summer. And also we are having quite a few teachers attend the state standard training in science, social studies, and math, and that's like June 18th and 19th, I think, in Anderson County for us. So that'll be a good thing that they can come back and share. So that's pretty much this past month with us, basically testing. But that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Blakely.
I've got a couple of things for the agenda. At the start of this year, y'all appointed a really fine group of teachers to be the adoption committee, and they worked really hard. I like to just read their names to sort of recognize them. From Birchfield, we had Charlotta Kidd and Ashley Hawkins. Fairview was Teresa Boshears and Marcia Sharp. Huntsville Elementary was Jeremiah Garrett. Huntsville Middle, Chad Markham. Robbins had Don Huckabee and Shirley Stevens. Winfield had Tabitha Crider and David Blevins. From the high school, we had Tim Hall, Jenny Hall, Annette Marshall, Michelle Watson, and Kathy Obrushansky. So we met, we got sworn in, we attended the caravan. They did a lot of work adopting, and here's what we would recommend that the board adopt. For 3rd grade, a publisher called Gallopade. For 4th and 5th grades, Gibbs Smith. 6th through 8th grades, McGraw-Hill. High school, for U.S. Government and Civics, U.S. History and Geography, World History and Geography, and Economics and Personal Finance, is Al Pearson publisher. Personal Finance as a standalone was McGraw-Hill, Sociology McGraw-Hill, and Psychology McGraw-Hill. AP U.S. History is Cengage. French and Spanish were both CTE, or both EMC, got my initials mixed up there. in CTE marketing and CTE finance is Cengage, and business management and administration be publishing. Now, we did not officially adopt anything for second grade. That's, what we did is they recommended that we buy Scholastic News for them that they can use for their social studies, but it's not an official adoption for second grade. And that's probably the main thing that requires explanation. I do have a CTE budget amendment that should allow me to hopefully close out this year in a good fashion. I do have, notice Ms. Rector talked about Anna Hull. I called her and said, when's the testing going to be over? She said May 3rd. So sometime after May 3rd, we'll be doing, a roof contractor will be doing some sort of fastener pull test or something on the roof. And then hopefully we'll have specifications where we can actually bid the roof repairs at Scott High and get what we want. Got some other projects that we've got ongoing. I know the board, going back all the way to John Gardner Thompson, has talked about the front of the technology center. We looked at that and we thought, yeah, that needs some work, and maybe we could kind of do some stuff to make it a little better. But then the more I thought about it, the more I think that needs to be, the scope of work there is so big. We'd like to have an awning, we'd like to have some improvements done, so that might be something we want to put off and get an architect involved in, because you're going to be affecting the structure to a certain extent. And we are going to be trying to get some plumbing work done there, so the meetings will be more comfortable, and that's on the agenda for the work to be done going forward. So, anybody have any questions?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Paulette, do you have anything?
I don't have anything for the agenda. I've just been busy, not more or less ending the year. I'm already into the next year. So I've completed all the commodity processings. Everything's ready to go to start in August. I've been working on CEP numbers for the last 2.5 weeks. Trying to match all students with birthdays and social securities and all the state lists and so forth, and even visited Leetta for a while. Still looking. I think we might be able to raise that percentage, maybe about 3% this year. So hopefully if we can, I'm going to try to lock in again for 4 more years from this coming year. So that'll give us another gain of working on CEP. But other than that, we're just, I'm still working on getting my bid ready for my grant for the ovens that we got for Huntsville, and I've done the grant to reapply for FFVP next year, and my next year begins in the spring, right after January. So just been very busy, a lot going on, a lot of sickness out there with our staff and a lot of people, and kind of hard to keep subs, so if there's anyone out there that would love to come sub for us and cafeterias, we would be glad to have you. So just come out and put in an application and come see us. We definitely need some subs out there. When you've got all the sickness going right now and people with types A and B and 2 or 3 employees out, we just don't have enough to go around. So it's real hard. But other than that, I'm just working, getting ready to end and begin another year.
Thank you. Mr. Shoemaker.
I do have a couple items for the agenda. In your package, you'll see this up there. This is our 19-20 Coordinated School Health District action plans and budget for the next school year. The action plans have already been approved by the state. I had to get their approval first before I could send it on to you for approval. So they have been approved, so I will need you to approve that, plus the budget for next school year is in that also. The other thing that's on, that I would need on the agenda, Miss Amanda has, and that's my budget amendment for this school year to clean up our line items and move some money around so we, because if you know, our program is grant funded, so all money that is to be spent needs to be spent because we do not get to roll that over until next school year. So we're going to try to get some money adjusted in our line items so we can get some equipment and needs for our schools and our classes and teachers, students, all that good stuff. And one other thing that I have for you in the packet up there, if you remember last month I gave you the BMI reports. I've put this in there also added to it. You will see there's a summary of the vision screenings for each school and how many total that we screened and how many passed and failed. Same for hearing. And then you can see the blood pressure report that, for each one of our schools. And then finally at the bottom right corner, you will see the nursing visits. That's just through March. That's how many nursing visits our nurses have seen and how many students have come to them. You can see how many they've sent back to class and how many that they have sent home and the total number of visits. So when you actually look at it just through March and you see that total number down there in the bottom corner, it's amazing how many students that they see throughout the school year as a total. And of course, some of the teachers or some of the principals already mentioned about the sports physicals. Those are next Tuesday and Thursday, May 7th and 9th, and Huntsville Middle, Fairview, and Scott High are on May the 7th, and May the 9th is Birchfield, Winfield, and Robbins, and we certainly want to thank everyone that's involved in that. That's a big project, getting all those forms out, takes it from the school, administration and everyone at the school, get those printed out, back, checked, make sure everything's signed, then we haul them up there. And Mountain Peoples does a wonderful job of screening those students for us, and also Scott Gilbert and his physical therapy team, they help out a lot, and also the Boys and Girls Club for giving up the day of their facility for us to come in and use that. So we really want to thank them for everything that they do to help us out with that. And as you heard a couple of them mention too about the anti-tobacco award winnings that we presented the last month, I will give you a copy of that by the next board meeting on every winner, student, and teacher at each school. The reason I don't have that tonight is because we are still waiting on the high school with Miss Cummins and her art class. They are doing an art contest with an anti-tobacco campaign with it, and we have narrowed it down to I think the top 10 or 11, and she just emailed me today and said those are ready, so I'm going out to get those in the morning, and then they will be judged. So I should have those students and those names by the next board meeting, so I will give that to you all next Thursday. And that's all I have, unless you all have something for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Amanda.
Stacy was not able to be here tonight, so she left me some things to tell you guys. The first thing is she's finishing up the MSAA alt assessment with our special ed students. The window closes May 3rd, so we hope to be finished by then. The next thing she left was working on summer school schedule for SPED students in the CDC classrooms. Hope to have the names of those employees who will be employed by the board meeting for summer school services. I have GP amendment number 5 for the agenda, and then included on that is coordinated school health and pre-K, and then I also have federal amendment number 8 for the agenda. Also, Mr. Hall left, which you have the agendas in front of you, but I wanted to make note on the use of the school facilities for Huntsville Middle School. And then item F, accept grants for the UCOR for Scott High School. And that is a grant that is designed to provide funds to assist classroom teachers for specific projects, focusing primarily on science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's a total of $750. And then also bids for the Huntsville playground. And he made note of that the bids for the playground at Huntsville School will be received and opened by the Finance Committee May 13th, which will be after the May monthly meeting. The directors of schools would like permission to accept the lowest bid and bring it back to the board at the June meeting. And then for his director report, Mr. Hall left. He said Mr. Keith Shannon has been named a CTE maintenance supervisor. I want to thank all those that applied and was an outstanding pool of candidates to choose from. He's very confident in Mr. Shannon and he will excel in this position. As Ms. Rector has mentioned, Senior Honors Banquet is Thursday, May 2nd at 6 p.m. The baccalaureate service is Sunday at 7 p.m. Held by Randy Birds and White Rock Baptist Church. Sky High graduation is Saturday, May 11th at 10. He also has made note that end of course and Tennessee Ready exams conclude this week. All school testing has been very seamless with minimal problems. And the last thing on his director report, if you've been following the Tennessee legislative meetings, the ESA or voucher bill has passed. Senator Yeager and Representative Kiesling have taken a strong stand against this bill, and for that we are grateful. Let's continue to let our voices be heard as this bill advances and stand up for public education. That's all, unless y'all have any questions.
Mr. Vine, I overlooked you. Did you have anything?
Yeah.
Mr. Wilcox?
What is that use of school facilities at Huntsville Middle? What are they gonna do?
I'm not sure if Ms. Donna has that information.
Did it have to do with the Salem Baptist Church
It
using
is.
the facility?
It's the group that came last year, they want to come back.
Will they work in the?
Summer.
Okay,
We've done this in the past.
yeah, I just didn't know what that was for.
It'll be the same arrangement, I would think.
And I had a question, and maybe Miss Amy, is she still here? Miss Amy?
Yes.
There was a request for a trip, and it's AMLE in Nashville. Do you know what AMLE is? It's for Miss Henry. It's not been approved by the supervisor or the director, so, what is that for? Do you know?
It's for middle school teachers.
Yeah, it says it's a middle school conference. The mission is, of this organization is to reach every student and help middle school educators grow professionally. What is it? What subject? I mean, I know she teaches math, but what do they, it's a 3-day conference, and I just wondered.
When is the conference?
In November.
Math was my understanding, they were targeting math standards.
Okay, that's good if it is, you know. We need to reach-
She's been seeking out some different opportunities because we're struggling in math right now. So we thought that would be a good,
I think anytime we're trying to reach some math conferences, it's a good thing.
well, and it's good when we can send the teachers and not just, you know, it's great for us to go and bring information back, but when the teachers are actually there and they can come back
We want
and
the
share it
teaching,
and
yeah.
use it, yeah.
But when they send, you know, something to AMLE, we have no idea what that is. And I like to know what these are.
Yes, amazing.
Sure. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Linda.
Oh, I wanted to tell Coach Cash that I did have a chance to look at Fairview's annual, and it's very nice, and looking forward, Miss Lisa, to looking at this one. And the lights at Huntsville have made all the difference in the world. Be sure and tell the maintenance men, I appreciate your doing that. And all the things that Miss Lisa mentioned, if you'll go by, I was over there today, and the children were telling me about the perimeter in the area, and as they were digging their holes and everything, and it's just gonna look great. There's flowers being planted and it's much needed. So thank you for your effort and everything, and the children. Good job.
How about you?
Thank you for the annual. I'm sure it'll be snatched from my hands as soon as I get home.
Yeah, that's a hot commodity, no one else has one of those yet, we're not
Makes
giving
me
them out.
realize how close we are to the end of school, so.
How about you?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well. I just want to thank everybody because I know it's a crazy time of year with all this testing and stuff going on. So I know you guys have been working hard, so I really appreciate it. I'm at Scott High all the time, and I'm tiptoeing around there because they're doing testing, and I just know it's a crazy time of year. So I'd like to thank you guys for all the hard work you do, especially this time of year.
Thank you guys for the annual.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Hamilton.
Okay. Nothing else? You can go home.